Hi, I'm Phil, and we're making Mountain Dew. Grilled cheese. We're making Mountain Dew grilled cheese. Cowabunga it is.
We've got a recipe printed out here from Mountain Dew, from recipes.mountaindew.com. And I'll note briefly, this is one of the rare online recipes that does not have 25 pages of backstory about the author's life, so already starting off on the right foot. I'm also excited to see the recipe is printed in extreme large font, because when I'm making a grilled cheese while following instructions, I want to see them now. It is a touch-and-go experience, and if I get lost somewhere down the list of things to do, I might end up doing something twice or skipping an important step, and then I wind up with empty toast soaking in a glass of Mountain Dew, and nobody wants that. So let's begin. I've got 8 slices of white bread, 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese, an absolutely wild half cup of cream cheese, room temperature, neon green food coloring, which I just have already for obvious reasons. The recipe calls for a can of Mountain Dew. However, I don't drink full sugar sodas, and I don't know any place that sells singles, so we've got a bottle, and we'll measure out 12 ounces. And then 2 half sticks of butter. So some of you may be wondering, Phil, why don't you just use Diet Dew or Dew Zero Sugar? And my concern with that was the texture. I'll talk a bit about that now. Step 1 is to pour your Mountain Dew into a small saucepan and reduce it to a 1/4 cup of liquid. If I did this with a diet drink, it would still just be water. There's nothing really in diet drinks to make them thick like the sugar content does in a regular drink. So if I'm expected to reduce the soda down, the goal is clearly not only just concentrating the flavor, but to change the texture to one closer to the simple syrup that was added to the water in the first place. Meanwhile, in a mixing bowl, we are combining our cheeses with our food coloring. Then we're adding the mixed cheese and food coloring to our Dew mixture, and stirring until everything is melted and combined. Some of you might recognize this as a similar process to making a cheese bechamel sauce for various cheesy pasta dishes, except usually the liquid there will be milk, or if you're being fancy, chicken stock, or maybe a nice white wine. Then we're spreading butter on each slice of bread and toasting it in a pan. Since our cheese is already melted, this pan is okay to start out already hot. But if you're making grilled cheese the other way from an existing cheese sandwich, my advice would be to start with a cold pan and let your sandwich heat through all at once. We just need to sear the butter to toast the outside. Using this method, you could also flip and toast the bread on both sides before forming the sandwich. However, the picture included with the recipe doesn't look like they did that. And also, if you're doing that, just use a toaster and butter it afterwards. The recipe also explicitly says to add salt, which is interesting to me. It means that somebody at Pepsi was editing these recipes as they were trying them in order to make them more palatable, and salt isn't in the ingredients list, so somebody made this at least twice. I was initially concerned about this because most butter you're going to be using is already salted, but I'm pretty sure that this extra addition is to counterbalance the sweetness of your Dew Chanel. Once your bread is toasted, add the, quote, cheese and Mountain Dew mixture to each slice, and then gently press the bread together. Once your sandwiches are made, you're going to want to immediately get that saucepan filled with soapy water to start breaking down the incredibly sticky and incredibly green sauce that will turn into glue. I truly hope this is stainless steel. We'll find out.
An important step before serving is to use your most expensive and fanciest chef's knife to chop the sandwiches on the diagonal. Some people might say using a chef's knife to cut a grilled cheese sandwich is overkill. If you don't own a chef's knife, you can ask your neighbor if you can borrow one. If they ask, what are you making? You can say, never mind, I'll ask someone else.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more side quest.
The final step to making Mountain Dew grilled cheese is to turn the camera off before you throw them in the garbage.